Commander Zixathara of the Galactic Coalition's Third Fleet had seen countless battles across 14 star systems. His chitinous exoskeleton bore the scars of plasma burns and kinetic strikes. He had faced the hive swarms of Kepler 442b and survived the void wraiths of the Andromeda Reach. Yet nothing in his 40 cycles of service had prepared him for the day he met the humans. It was in the medical bay of Outpost Artemis 7 where he first heard the stories. Zixathara had been recovering from injuries sustained in a skirmish with separatist forces when 2 human soldiers entered the adjacent recovery pod. Through the translucent barrier, he could see them clearly. A female with tied-back dark hair named Jennifer, and a male called Alex, both wearing the distinctive gray and blue uniforms of Earth's expeditionary forces. "You think they're ready for what's coming?" Alex asked, his voice carrying through the barrier despite its dampening fields. Jennifer shrugged, adjusting the bandage on her arm. "The Coalition species? Probably not. They fight wars like chess matches, calculated, distant, surgical. They've never experienced what we call total war." Zixathara's translator implant processed the term, but the meaning seemed inadequate. Every war was total, wasn't it? Resources, territory, survival, these were universal constants. "Remember what happened at New Stalingrad?" Alex continued, and something in his tone made Zixathara's sensory organs prick up. "When the Krill thought they had us surrounded?" Jennifer's laugh was cold, devoid of humor. "They learned the hard way. Humans don't surrender easily." Over the following days, as their injuries healed, Zixathara found himself listening to their conversations with growing unease. The humans spoke casually about conflicts on their homeworld, wars that had consumed entire continents, lasted for years, and claimed millions of lives. They described something called the Winter War, where outnumbered soldiers held off an invasion force through sheer determination and environmental adaptation. They mentioned trench warfare that lasted for 4 years with barely any territorial changes, where soldiers lived in mud and fought for meters of ground. But it was the story of New Stalingrad that truly chilled him. "The Krill made the classic mistake," Jennifer explained one day, apparently aware that Zixathara was listening. "They assumed that cutting off our supply lines and surrounding the colony meant victory. They didn't understand human history." "We've been surrounded before," Alex added. "Bastonia, Stalingrad, Tobruk. Every time the enemy thought they'd won. Every time they were wrong." The battle, as they described it, had been brutal. The Krill had encircled the human colony of New Stalingrad, a mining settlement of 50,000 souls on a frozen moon. Standard coalition doctrine would have called for evacuation or surrender. The humans had done neither. "We fought them in the streets," Jennifer said, staring at nothing. "In the mines, in the processing plants. When we ran out of ammunition, we used mining equipment as weapons. When the power failed, we fought in the dark. When they breached the habitation domes, we fought in vacuum suits at minus 40 degrees. The Krill couldn't comprehend it," Alex continued. "Their species had evolved on a paradise world. They'd never known true scarcity, never experienced existential desperation. When their supply lines got stretched and their casualties mounted, their morale broke. We'd been eating ration bars and fighting for 6 months straight. To us, it was just another Tuesday." Zixathara felt a chill run through his exoskeleton. His own species, the Thaxori, would have negotiated surrender terms within weeks of encirclement. It was the logical choice. Preserve your forces for a counteroffensive, save civilian lives, fight another day. But humans seemed to possess something that defied logic. "You know what the scariest part was?" Jennifer asked, her eyes meeting Zixathara's through the barrier. She knew he was listening. She'd always known. "We weren't even angry. By month 4, it wasn't about revenge or glory. It was just what we do. Humans endure. We persist. We'd rather die on our feet than live on our knees." Our ancestors survived ice ages with stone tools, Alex said. They crossed oceans on wooden boats. They walked across continents with nothing but the clothes on their backs. Every human alive is descended from survivors of countless disasters, wars, famines, and catastrophes. It's in our DNA. We don't quit. The final revelation came when their doctor cleared them for duty. As they prepared to leave, Jennifer turned to address Zixathara directly. Commander Zixathara, I know you've been listening. I wanted you to hear these stories because you need to understand something about humanity before the next wave hits. The next wave? Zixathara asked, his voice translator crackling with uncertainty. The Krill are regrouping, Alex said grimly. They're bringing their main fleet, 3,000 warships. They want revenge for New Stalingrad. The Coalition Command is considering evacuation of the entire sector. And you? Zixathara asked. Jennifer's smile was predatory. We're not going anywhere. Earth is sending the Fifth Fleet, not to evacuate, to reinforce. You see, Commander, you've spent your career fighting civilized wars. Wars with rules, surrender protocols, prisoner exchanges. Humans wrote those rules to protect you from us. I don't understand, Zixathara admitted. You will, Alex said. When the Krill arrive, watch how humans fight when they're properly motivated. Watch how we turn every advantage, every resource, every terrain feature into a weapon. Watch how we refuse to accept defeat even when logic says we should. And pray to whatever gods you believe in, Jennifer added, that humanity never has a reason to fight you. They left the medical bay, leaving Zixathara alone with his thoughts. He had faced many terrors in his career, but for the first time, he understood true fear. Not of the enemy ahead, but of the allies beside him. Because humanity, he realized, didn't fight to win. They fought because surrender simply wasn't in their vocabulary. And that, more than any weapon or technology, was the most terrifying force in the galaxy.